What about that mission Dana led with Leon's resistance network?
It didn't turn out well, Miss Walker. Actually, that's the reason I left London to be here.
Oh?
Yes, just a second, Miss Walker. Where did I put it? What with this blasted storm? It's all over the papers. Here, have a look for yourself.
Storm. Excavation work at Devil's Pass has been interrupted. An unexpected storm has obliged the Council to remove the bodies trapped in the ice since the Second World War, and to move them to the Silberspiegel Refuge. Those frozen bodies near the refuge. I heard about them just yesterday. Do you mean...
There has been no formal identification yet, Miss Walker.
But it's plausible that...
That Leon, at least, is among those bodies, yes.
What happened to Leon?
According to the testimonies I've obtained, Leon was killed on that mission the Foreign Office tasked Dana to lead. An avalanche, apparently. I am one of the few people still alive to be able to identify him, which is why I'm here. If it weren't for this bloody storm, it would have been done today.
Do you think Dana could be among the bodies?
I suppose it would be logical. It would explain why I never saw or heard of her again after the mission. Yet, according to some witnesses, Dana survived the war and indeed helped resistance fighters from Wagen until the liberation. But if those testimonies were true, then Dana vanished after the war.
What about the other bodies?
According to the medical examiner's office, in all, 3 bodies have been extracted from the ice. The one presumed to be Leon, and 2 others, a man and a woman not yet identified.
I see.
Try to stay positive, Miss Walker. Only a visual identification will allow us to be certain. We can go as soon as this storm's over, probably tomorrow or the day after.
Right.
Miss Walker, we've arrived. But you're not coming, are you? Well, Miss Walker, you might not be related to Dana, but you bloody well certainly remind me of her.
Instead of waiting for the storm to pass and for the official identification of the bodies, I might add, that were trapped in the ice for 6 decades, you, and by extension me, are going to climb up the mountain so you can identify them yourself.
I know, Oscar, I know. But I've just got to be sure. Because if one of those bodies turns out to be Dana, I...
We'll have no more trains to chase?
It looks like it's holding up, despite the storm. I don't think it's cold enough for fuel to freeze, but maybe someone should store it inside, just in case.
Are you sure you want to stay under the storm to see the bodies, Kate Walker? They'll still be here tomorrow, you know.
Maybe, Oscar, but I can't wait. I've just got to know now. Lenny's left her lookout post. Hardly surprising with this blizzard. Darn it, of course I need a coin again. I'm not gonna get a decent photo in this weather. What's this?
Oh, it's the frozen bodies from the Devil's Pass. The forensic team had to bring them up here because of the blizzard. But their generator shut off. I'm concerned it could damage the bodies.
Where's Demoiselle Lenny?
Oh, in her room, resting. She collapsed right after the forensic team left for Wagen.
Jeez, what happened?
I'm pretty sure it has to do with the bodies. I mean, she was staring down in that direction for, well, all the time. And then, when they brought them up from the Devil's Pass, it was like she had seen a ghost or something. It was almost as if...
As if she knew the departed.
What?
Is someone taking care of her?
Oh yes, don't worry. She's with that hermit who brings her wood and provisions sometimes.
Okay, in that case, you go back inside. I'll take care of the generator.
Are you sure?
Positive, just go. Go on. I need to check something in the tent anyway. be something missing here.
No, I don't think so. Better try some.
It won't work.
The gas tank's empty. I better find some fuel so I can turn on the generator.
Didn't you come across a jerry can earlier? Better go check it out.
Yes! Thanks, Oscar! Demoiselle Lenny had tea with someone. Maybe with that alpinist guy. Another one of those cigars. A photo of Leon on a ship. Must have been taken during his return from Baltayar. But I still can't figure out how he survived the winter while he was on the run over there. Lenny also had that newspaper clipping about Leon. Looks like the old girls built a veritable shrine to him. There's something truly odd going on with Demoiselle Lenny. I really ought to have a little chat with her. But before, the bodies. They are all that count right now. They must have carried Demoiselle Lenny to her room after she collapsed. They must have carried Demoiselle Lenny to her room after she collapsed. Looks like I can change its shape. No time to explore the refuge again. I need to find the frozen bodies.
That bloody storm.
Looks like this one's full. Be something missing here. Nothing. Speak to me, Oscar.
This button must have turned on the generator, Kate Walker. But you still need to use the starter.
Okay. Thanks, Oscar. Locked, of course. too small for a door. Look, Oscar! A distant cousin!
What are you talking about, Kate Walker? And why are you laughing?
Fried biscuits. Wonder how long they've been there. Must be to crank up the generator. Looks like the rescuers left in a hurry after they moved the bodies here. Must have been surprised by the blizzard. An unidentified blonde woman in her 40s. That can't be Dana. That's not Dana in this body bag. That's it, Oscar. Dana's body is not among those found with Leon's. Oh, what a relief.
Now that that's cleared up, Kate Walker, maybe we should take shelter within somewhat more solid premises.
Right. We should go and check on Demoiselle Lenny in the Refuge. I have a lot of new questions for her. Forensics Institute of Wagner. Hello? Sir?
Are you sure you want to follow that individual, Kate Walker?
I don't think he looked threatening. Rather the opposite, Oscar. It's locked. Sir? Are you there? What have we got here? This portrait, it looks like Leon. The style reminds me of that other portrait of him that he described in his letter from Baltayar. The one made by the...
Derna.
The Go-Rune.
No, not Derna. She's old, like me.
I'm Kate. Kate Walker.
Kate Walker.
Yes. And you're the one that Leon saved during the Origin expedition a long time ago, aren't you?
Yes.
The Goran from Baltayar. Well, you've come a long way, Mr.
Ludwig. Ludwig Hardtack.
Well, Mr. Ludwig, if you don't mind my asking, what happened when you and Leon returned to Ostertal to join the Resistance fighters? And how did you meet Dana?
Leon. My brother.
These drawings, they're moments from your life, aren't they? Is that when you met Dana?
No.
That little figure there. That's you, isn't it? When you were a child in Baltayar.
Yes.
And the two adults there? Are they your parents?
Uh-huh.
Looks like a river. And that little figure looks wounded. Is that you when you met Leon and the scientist from the Origin expedition?
Yes.
That person in the middle of the others was in the other paintings. That's Leon, isn't it?
Yes. Leon.
That group. Is it your tribe, Mr. Ludwig?
Yeah.
So you all live together in a cave in Baltayar? Right. So you and your tribe took Leon in after the death of Reinhard Berger in 1937. That's how he was able to survive the winter in the mountains. Then you went with Leon when he decided to return to Vagen to join the Resistance fighters?
Mm-hmm.
These combat scenes, are they of the liberation of Vagen?
Before. During Resistance.
Had Dana already joined the Resistance operation by that time? I mean, by the time shown in the drawing.
No. Later.
The blonde girl with you and Leon can't be Lenny, right?
Yes. Lenny. My sister.
I knew Lenny was a Resistance fighter, but she never told me she fought alongside Leon, let alone you. She even went as far as saying that she never saw Leon again after 1937, when they all met at the Refuge with Dana. Why would she hide something so important?
Time to check on Lenny. Come, Kate Walker.
The sketchbook. I think it was Leon's. Detonating wire, just like in the old movies. Weapons. Must have been here since the war, I guess. These must be plans for secret operations. Must have been some kind of a headquarters here. Maybe for local resistance fighters such as Leon and his group. This symbol looks like a warning. Some kind of map. Looks like the Devil Pass to me. Could all those marks indicate where the Gorons searched for Leon's body? So much happened to the Gorun since Leon found him in Baltayar. What a life he had. But there are still so many gray areas. I need to learn more from Demoiselle Lenny now. It's locked.
Ah, Fräulein. I knew you would be back eventually. Judging by your face, you and Ludwig already met.
We have. And it raised a lot of questions about you. About what you said to me the first time we met, and about what you didn't say.
Of course. You can run from your past, but never truly escape it, huh? But you already know that. Don't you, Fräulein?
I want to understand Demoiselle Lenny. I'd like to understand why you didn't tell me about Leon's death, about fighting with him in the Resistance, and about the Gore, and about Mr. Ludwig. It would have saved us both so much time and effort.
Because it would have only begged questions. Questions which lead to events that I've never spoken about to anyone. Not even to you, dear Ludwig.
Lenny.
Still, I suppose it doesn't matter now. Perhaps it's time I confess my crime.
What are you talking about?
It was the best years of my life. Joining the Resistance, unlike my coward of a father, and fighting alongside Leon after he miraculously got back from Baltayar with Ludwig. It gave me purpose. Leon was a terrific leader. I could feel he was finally taking me seriously, especially with Dana being missing. I knew he was still in love. After all, didn't he cross the globe to rescue her? But we all thought he arrived too late, that Dana had died with her parents during the pogroms. So I believed his mourning would eventually come to an end. And that's when Dana fell from the sky, literally.
Dana was sent by London, right? To oversee that operation led by your resistance network? The exfiltration of a civilian to Switzerland, if I recall correctly.
Indeed. But Leon never told us that Dana was involved. Maybe he was afraid to believe it himself. You should have seen them, Fräulein. It was as if they had never left each other.
Do you know if Dana ever mentioned a child?
Maybe they were planning to have one in Baltaya, who knows?
In Baltayar?
Yes, that's all they ever talked about. How they were going to live over there after the war, along with Ludwig and his tribe. But it was to be just another broken dream.
Right. I should call London now. My radio's downstairs. One of Leon's paintings. He did one of me posing on the terrace that summer when we met. He even gave me the painting so I would think of him when he was in Baltaya. I expect it got destroyed by the Brown Shadow when they pillaged Papa's gallery. Leon's drawing book. I recognize the mountains of Vagen in these drawings. Leon must have drawn them during his expeditions in the region. These drawings date from the summer we met, when I worked here. These landscapes don't look like they're from the Vagen region. Leon must have done these drawings when he was in Baltayar with the Origin expedition. This is a drawing of the Goruns. Herr Gustav housed me here when I worked at the Refuge. I have so many fond memories with Leon here. When I left for London with Junta, I never thought I'd see the place again, let alone be here again with Leon. The Gorun's lair. Lenny's old room. I should stay away. Junta's stash. I doubt I'll find anything of use there to amplify the radio signal. Herr Gustav's old radio. I remember we spent many an evening listening to serials when I worked here that summer. This is the transmitter Herr Gustav told me he'd cobbled together to compensate for the wave disturbance caused by the mountains. Should be able to use it for my own radio to contact London. Once this antenna is connected, there must be a way to open it. There must be something else I can plug into it. So Junta never did come back to retrieve it? Not surprising, really, I suppose, given the fact that World War broke out. What a mess. Herr Gustav must have turned Junta's dark room into a storeroom after she left. Personal effects in a heap. Can't be a good sign. Leon's men must have settled down in the dormitories. Judging by these installations, Leon's network seems particularly well organized. Pity the same can't be said for all the resistance networks the Foreign Office deals with. May I? Lenny and the Gorun seemed close. It's nice that she's found a friend. Not that Herr Gustav lacked affection for her, but she spent too much time alone in that refuge. True brothers and sisters in arms. You can sense that the three of them stand together as one. The Gorun described Leon as his brother. They must have shared lots of adventures together since Leon saved him from the clutches of Herberger. Your drawings are beautiful.
For you, Daneros.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ludwig. It's almost as if you were there with us that night.
Leon told me.
Did he speak about me?
All the time.
I should go now. Talk to you later, Mr. Ludwig. Oh, it looks like Leon and me in this drawing. The Gorun must have drawn it from Leon's accounts of us. If this propaganda against the resistance fighters is anything to go by, the Brown Shadow must be pretty desperate. Looks like the Gorun must be a nightmare for the Brown Shadow. He must be the super resistant I heard so much about in London. The Refuge. The place where it all began between me and Leon. Harold Exner. A scientist with vital information for the war effort, according to the Foreign Office. His cover has recently been blown, which has led to this operation. Better not say anything during the briefing, but apparently, Exner has a reputation for being rather hot-headed. The Refuge. It'll be the departure point for our expedition into Switzerland tomorrow. We'll need to cross Devil's Pass with the package in order to reach Switzerland. They say it's not the most daunting pass, but still, you need to be escorted by a professional alpinist. Switzerland. The package will be safe over there. The Allies are unable to send enough supplies to the resistance fighters for them to completely let go of their good old-fashioned methods. An arms stash. Since the departure of Herr Gustav, resistance fighters have been using this place as an outpost. Shouldn't think the Brown Shadow appreciate Leon and his group throwing their own grenades at them. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. I need my documents so I can find the right setting. They're in a side pocket of my bag. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. Empty. Best not go too far. There's a storm brewing. Darn it. I hope it doesn't break until we're through Devil's Pass in the morning. Is everything all right, Herr Exner? You seem a little upset. If it's about your exfiltration tomorrow, I can assure you there's nothing to be worried about. Leon is the best for...
I couldn't care less about tomorrow.
So what is it then?
It's my wife, Andrea. It's like I said to your goons there. I can't leave without her.
Your wife? I'm sorry, Herr Exner, but we have no orders regarding...
I don't care about your orders. I'm not leaving without Andrea. Do you hear me? I won't! You think I'm a bastard, don't you? A selfish bastard ready to risk people's lives to recover the woman he loves. That's what you all think, isn't it?
Up to now, you haven't exactly shown us your best side, have you? If you had, we might have had a better opinion of you.
I take full responsibility for my actions, and I expect no pity in return. But would a little understanding be too much to ask? I mean, what would you do in my shoes? What would you do if they asked you to abandon that alpinist you seem to be so fond of for the common good, eh? Because that's what you're asking me to do with Andrea.
If I were in your shoes, I would put the common good first, even if I had to make a tough choice.
Oh, of course you would.
Have you called London yet?
Lenny!
What do you want?
It's amazing how you've grown. How have you been since last time?
Fine, I guess.
I found out that the Refuge was closed down by the Brown Shadow a few years ago. Turns out your network did the best of it. But what about Herr Gustav? Is he...
Dead? No, he's not dead. Although, for me, he might just as well be.
It's quite incredible when I think of you and Leon fighting alongside someone who comes from so far away.
Yeah. After Leon saved him during the expedition in Baltayar, Mr. Ludwig's tribe took him in during the winter months. They became inseparable, like brothers. So much so that Mr. Ludwig insisted on coming back here with Leon. Now he's our most ferocious fighter, the terror of the Brown Shadow.
See you later, Lenny.
Well, everyone seems all right, more or less. I should get back to the radio now. I read Leon's network uses the old caves over there to escape from the Brown Shadow. That's smart. The sky's darkening. Doesn't bode well. Let's just hope it'll clear up by the morning. Devil's Pass. Once we've crossed it, getting into Switzerland shouldn't be a problem.
We'll have to cross that tomorrow. It's daunting. Not because of the crossing, though. Leon knows it like the back of his hand. No, because of what will happen between us afterwards. I know I'll have to face the fact that London won't let me stay with him once we've escorted the civilian into Switzerland. And Leon would never accept to leave his men and follow me to London as long as the war's still raging. Once again, everything seems to be against us. But at least I've seen him. At least I know he still loves me. And we'll have plenty of time to catch up when we'll leave for Baltea after the war. So, best not dwell. I'll have all day tomorrow to feel sorry for myself. Maybe Herr Gustav's homemade radio is still around here somewhere.
That should boost the signal. Perfect. It doesn't work. The signal isn't strong enough. I need to find a way of amplifying it. No doubt this should boost the signal. The signal is strong enough to reach London now. I need to adjust the frequency settings properly to contact London. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages.
I need to adjust the frequency settings properly to contact London. I need to adjust the frequency settings properly to contact London. I need to adjust the frequency settings properly to contact London. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. London, come in. London? Do you read me? Over. We've made contact. Package safe and sound. I repeat, we've made contact. Package...
Out of the question!
I'm not moving from here without her!
London, please wait a moment. Over. What's going on?
You tell London I'm not leaving without my wife.
Herr X, now listen,
No, you listen. Andrea is my closest collaborator. With regard to the Allied war effort, she is just as important as me. She is in Wagen as I speak, hiding at some friend's place under a false identity. You must bring her here and smuggle her into Switzerland with me.
There's no way we're going back to Wagen. Brown Shadow troops have overrun the entire town. We can't risk delaying our departure.
A storm coming. Danger.
I'm not moving from here without her.
London, did you hear that? Roger that. Over and out. They say we can't allow Frau Exner to be captured and risk her letting the cat out of the bag.
What are you waiting for then? Send someone to fetch her.
Hang on. You're not asking me to.
Sorry, Lenny, we haven't got a choice. Ludwig can't go about in public in Wagen, and I have to prepare everything to get them through Devil's Pass tomorrow. You're the only one I trust enough to...
Why can't she go?
I understand you're angry, Lenny, but that's not in my orders. My mission consists of protecting Herr Exner at all cost. I can't just leave him here and go off to Wagen.
Dana's right, Lenny. And besides, it's too dangerous.
Leon!
All right, then. I'll go.
Lenny, wait!
Leon's reaction and his unconditional love for Dana drove me mad with rage. So I decided to take my revenge by making a detour. It was a detour I would regret for the rest of my life.
What did you do?
I made a deal with the devil. No one was supposed to have gotten hurt, I promise. I promise, Fräulein. I just didn't want Leon to leave me forever. To leave with her. But it was a fool's bargain, as I should have known from the beginning.
Before the mountain becomes impassable!
Go through the pass in this weather? Are you mad?
We have no choice, Lenny! It's that or fall into the hands of the Brown Shadow! And we both know what that means! We ought to stay, to buy Leon as much time as we can!
Leon,
She's right, Lenny! Now go! Go! Come! Dana!
No! Don't make this harder than it is!
Dana!
I love you, Leon.
I love you too, Dana, more than anything in the world. Come on, let's go!
Ironic, isn't it? But the worst was yet to come. Who knows how long we fought? Enough for Leon to lead the civilians to the foot of Devil's Pass.
Ah!